of all time.
And tomorrow is the 25th anniversary of your first ever gig. And I didn't get you anything. I'm terribly sorry.
That's okay. Well, you brought all this stuff.
But you talked about the unusualness of the job you're in and the pressures it brings, the adrenaline. How have you retained your friendships with the other members of your band, Pete and Mike in particular, over 25 years? That's not easy.
No, it's not. We have at this point, you know, we love each other very deeply, and there's immense amounts of respect for each other. And we also know each other better probably than anyone else on this living earth. What brought us together in the first place, and again, I'm a little bit of a sap, but was a love of music, and that's what's kept us going. Recognizing not only are we so fortunate to be able to do as our job, to be able to focus a lot of the attention that I give anything over the course of a day, or a month, or a year, or a tour, on the thing that has brought me such epiphany and such liberation and such freedom. And as a music fan, still, I hear something like Bright Eyes, the group from Omaha, Nebraska that opened up for us the other night. And it's like this. It's like hearing, I've in fact compared Connor to Patty, his abilities as a performer and as a lyricist. We're very, very lucky people.
And how have you looked after each other all
And we
the
have fights all the time. You know, I mean, we have incredible throwdown, anxiety, attack kind of fights, and it's all the horrible stuff. But it's real, you know. That's what makes it real, I think.
I'm going to ask you this question because you haven't had breakfast. Who is the Ansel Adams of music for you?
I wouldn't say.
I was just going for a third time lucky.
No, I actually have to say that what that guy did as a technician is very accomplished.
You don't have to defend
Okay,
yourself.
no, but I'm not going to defend Ansel. He's dead. I doubt his estate is going to write me a nasty letter because of this conversation. But you know, as a technician, I would offer that he probably put a great deal of work and thought into what he did. It doesn't particularly appeal to me. I see its value, but it doesn't move me.
You speak as a photographer yourself. Some years ago, you went on tour with Patti Smith, took photographs of that tour. We have a few stills.
Oh God, you guys really did your...
Oh, we've looked around because it's interesting. And one thing, getting back to this way you see the world, there's lots of photos of feet here. Why feet?
I went through a whole thing with feet where I photographed. Now I'm photographing, much to the dismay of most of the people around me. Every public telephone that I see, I'm fascinated with public telephones. Honestly, they are amazing in Japan. They're really incredible. The airport at Byron Bay. There's not an airport at Byron Bay. I was thinking of...
Ballina.
Where? No, where's the place where we had it was in New Zealand. I'm really sorry.
That's right. Well, we say goodnight to Michael Stipe
and good riddance. Thank you. It was in New Plymouth.
Yep.
We did a very peculiar show there with a lake between us and the audience, filled with duck shit. And it was an awesome evening. It was a little weird playing across a lake with ducks, but people jumped in the lake, which made it fun. And we did the song Night Swimming, which made it seem appropriate. And how did we get here?
We're talking about public phones.
Public phones. I've been photographing them really for a year and a half now. I can't stop. But it brings me around to something that I think is kind of, I read a magazine article in an Australian magazine about a futurist and his idea of what things are going to be 20 years from now and 50 years from now and so on. And I think public phones are going to disappear. I mean, they will be on eBay, and they will be very valuable at some point because there's going to be no need for them. Cellular technology has pretty much sent them packing the way of the buggy whip.
We're really going to miss something that never works when we need to use it.
They are things of beauty, though,
yeah.
You know, and particularly in the eyes of a great photographer like myself.
Before, when you couldn't remember, you know, Byron Bay, New Plymouth.
Oh, I remember Byron Bay.
Well, as you should.
Yeah.
But that's because you're in the middle of this incredible world tour,
immense, yeah.
a year long. What is?
But I could name, if pressed, and I know you don't have time, we've been to 29 countries since January 1st. 29. And we sat down, myself, the drummer, two other people that I work with at a table the other night over fish and chips, and wrote down on a napkin, all right, who can get to the end of it first? And we all got there. It took, yeah. One guy forgot Latvia.
You'll never work there again. What does it do to your head not to have your own place for pretty much a year?
It's okay, I miss my dog.
Name?
Helix.
Okay.
And she's getting up in years, so I got to spend some time with her before she passes on. I've traveled my whole life, and it's really what I do. You know, the idea of being in one place for a really long time feels incredibly scary and boring to me. And I'm not a person who, I don't think I've ever been bored in my whole life. I can always find someone or something, your shoes. I like your shoes. I like, no, the woman next to you. You have fine shoes as well.
I can believe this.
But there's something about the way, you know, that's provided me with something to focus on through this conversation, and I've never been bored.
Would you prefer I stepped aside? I got one.